All right. Hello, 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 everybody. Go and see if I can change up here and see if I. Hello, everyone. Happy new and beautiful day. Let me see if I can now find myself. Okay. All right. Hi, Angelina. Yes, peace and love indeed. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Divine wholeness. Let me see if I can let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can send it here. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can get everybody. Send it to my core people. Um, I have a little thing. And once again, I just be trying to get these little sessions in um before I go and pick up my grandbaby. I be trying to get it in, but it's not going to be that long. And then it kind of helps me keep it a little bit short, so that these lives don't be that long or what have you. Okay? So I be wanting, to kind of keep it short, simple and sweet and everything. But well, hello, whomever is on the YouTube side. Well, hello there. Gratitude for your presence. Thank you for divinely tuning into my frequency. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. And thank you on the IG side. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here as well. I am so divinely grateful. The setup was crazy, you guys. Oh, goodness. I'm freezing up on. Let me try another. I'm going to go ahead and try another. It says Mr. Overett is here, but I'm going to go and try to find another. Let me go and find another because this one is not working. It's just not working. It is just giving me all kind of issues. So I'm just going to go on another one. Let me go here and see if I can do it on here. Because it's just not okay. All right, let's see if it helps on this one. Okay, maybe this will work. All right, I'm on my other one. All right, hopefully this one will work. All right, everybody. Gratitude for you guys' presence. Let me go ahead and get these disclaimers out of the way really quickly because, once again, I'm not on here for too long. You guys know at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I have to go pick up my grandbaby. So I just wanted to get in here really quickly to start putting this frequency out there in the collective mind. It is still freezing. I don't know if you guys are freezing up. Um, but just keep in mind too that I am on the YouTube side too as well because it seemed like on um Instagram, Instagram is freezing up um on on my side where I can't really see the comments because I'm freezing up here even here on my other one. So let me try to do it again and see what happens. Okay, there we go. Let's see what happens. So I may have to just keep going out and going in or what have you to see the comments. All right. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my disclaimers out. So if you guys are freezing up on Instagram, I am simultaneously on YouTube where you can enter exchange simultaneously if need be. Okay, if you're having issues with Instagram. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and get these disclaimers out of the way. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do or how to be. I'm only here to express how I understand my now moment. It is not to tell you guys what to do because you're very well capable of doing that on your own accord. But I am here to give you guys something to think about. As a reminder, some illuminated breadcrumbs to, just give you a little jolt of energy, just to stimulate you a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, right? To get you something to make you go, right? But not here to tell you what to do because you're very well capable. Because my motto is that everything you need is divinely within. Okay, it's divinely within, but I'm only here to give you something to think about and how I understand my now moment that has gotten me to the space and place that I am here in today, right? And any content creator, celebrity, or anybody for that matter that I speak upon on this platform, all information that has been placed out there for public consumption is heavily, heavily alleged. I'm only utilizing that information to just make an example because I was not there. I don't know if it's true. I'm just using it as to make an example on the live. So it is heavily, heavily alleged, right? I don't know. It could be not. All right. But nevertheless, I'm only utilizing it, like I said, to use as an example for whatever it is that I'm making reference to on the live. But anything other than that, it is heavily, heavily alleged. And last but not least, I move in the premise in sacred, divine, unconditional love, because as I say, we move in the essence in wholeness, divine wholeness. To judge you is to judge myself. All right, so I move in the essence of divine, unconditional love. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, all right, I'm finna get into it, you guys. So, this may be a two-part live because now I'm going into the real gusto. Um a territory that many people probably really do not like to touch at this angle of light, um, because it really kind of somewhat really give the true essence of what is the solution to how to evolve into the fifth dimensional self, and that is the frequency of neutrality. And so, therefore, if one knows how to neutralize the collective mind, right? If one knows how to get the essence of the collective mind to go into a neutral space, um, that can potentially dissolve. That could potentially dissolve the density, especially of the especially. Hi, yes, hi. Oh, Cosmos. Hi, Cosmos. Gratitude for your presence. Hey, Mr. Overhead. Gratitude for your presence. I'm looking at both sides of things and I'm not even looking at and you know what? I got a bigger display. I had to turn in my phone, you guys. I upgraded my phone. And so for a while I had three phones, you guys. It's kind of hard when you get the other phone and then you're able to find use for the phone. So I had the phone, and the phone was giving me the pleasure of being able to see the comments while I had my other two devices, right? And so I was able to see the comments and everything. And so I finally had to mail back in my phone, but I went on ahead and broke down and got me an iPad because I didn't want to go and get another service just to have a third phone because you have to put service on the phone. So I went in ahead and got me an iPad. But guess what? The iPad is nicer because it's a bigger display. So, I can't see half the time. So now I ain't got to squinch, at least with Instagram, I don't have to squinch my eyes. But with YouTube, I got to squinch my eyes. I can't see anything. I can see Rosa a little bit. It's like it's really small on now it's small on YouTube, whereas before when I had it vertical, I could see it a lot better. But now that I've fixed the problem on YouTube side, where now you guys can see all of the board now I can't see the comments. Now I can't see the comments. So it's, but I'd rather for you guys to be able to see the entire board. So I prefer you guys to be able to see the entire board. So just work with me. So if you see me coming up here trying to see, and I still, even with that, I still can. I'm gonna have to get me a magnifying glass. And I still try to. Let me see if I do it. See, when I do it like that, and when I do it, let me see, big. See, it's a little bit better when I make it big like that. It's a little bit better. So I'm trying. I'm a work in progress. We working with it or what have you. All right. So, but getting back to the subject at hand, neutrality. Okay. Uh it is one of the major things that can stabilize and bring a sense of stabilization in the collective mind. And this is a subject that really is not talked about in a way, in a practical way, that will bring some sense of clarity where people can actually understand, overstand, how to bring a sense of neutrality from an energetic perspective, the energy you. Okay, the energy you. Now all things is energy, but of course when we are operating from the pretenses of ourselves in an inverted way, we're dealing with that inversion of us, looking at ourselves in the, in the reality where we're in survival mode and we're just trying to get through one phase, in the next, and trying to figure out how to get ourselves in, a comfortable state of being, just trying to survive the experience until, the experience is no longer anymore. We're just trying to get through one phase through the next without really focusing on the fact that we're energetic beings. And that's what the density that's what the density in this state, in a fixed state, kind of relies on, right? Without, it doesn't really want us to understand that essence, that componency of us understanding ourselves as energy. It just wants us to get through the experience and then no longer be in the experience. And that's what fixes the experience as in the energy that it is, because we're just trying to survive the experience, not evolve out the experience. And as long as we're trying to just survive the experience without trying to evolve out the experience, that is what fixes the experience in that fixed state of energy, right? And it is up to those who want to evolve. And some people, they just probably do just want to survive the experience and stay in survival state, because it do kind of give you some work to do, because now you have to begin to reverse the polarity. So, to stabilize the field, it does comes with the fact that you now got to start thinking, you got to start placing an effort into thinking of reversing the polarity. And then you also got to start beginning to understand that all thoughts are not your thoughts, because everything is energy. Okay, everything is energy. So when you begin to understand that, even though the physical self and everything, I went over yesterday about the 12 stranded DNA, the concept of the 12 stranded DNA. Something came into my field, my energy field of remembrance, that there are other DNA templates that not necessarily go up particularly, it goes up in numbers. So there are other templates beyond the 12 dimensional, the 12 strands of DNA. It goes up to 48 strands of DNA that came into my field. But it's not necessarily that it actually goes up, it goes, it expands, it goes out, it goes more in depth. So which means that it has more depth in octaves of the cells. But I'm going to get more into it as I become more in the essence of the remembrance of self. where there is more DNA strands of remembrance in that regard of the divine self, but it's more depth, not not Jacob's ladder. It's more in the essence of expansion. So when you get to understand that when you're ready to come out of the survival of the experience and no longer fix the experience, and you become more conscious of those who are coming into the experience after you, where you now want to reverse the polarity of the experience, then now you're going to start, as you are experiencing the experience, you're going to begin to make a more conscious, thought process of the experience while you are experiencing the experience. Okay, while you are experiencing the experience. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys some key pointers of how that commences. Okay, everything comes in the essence of a field of energy. So there are fields that comes in that stabilizes the collective. Okay, and once you begin to understand, I'm still trying to figure out, this is new, it's not new, I'm still in the essence of the remembrance of it, but I just wanted to jump into it and understand that the key effective thing in the collective, because most people do not want to tackle most people do not want to tackle the collective, because the collective is such a big energy field, um and it is already set in stone, particularly uh until the collective decides how it wants to progressively shift. Okay. So a lot of beings do not try to tackle the collective. But me, I, you know, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting the signal out there in the manner to which I am, because I don't know why. I'm just me. I'm just doing it. Okay, it is what it is. However it flow, it go. It just goes where it goes. But I'm going to give you guys some of the tips on how to understand certain things uh, in the process, for those who are choosing to take the consciousness out of a fixed state. Okay. um and here are some of the things that I chose to pre-advance, put uh into put on the board so that we could actually go over. So it's a reversal of the polarity. So when I talk about, it's very vast. Yes, it's very vast. When I talk about the polarity, when I talk about the third density, when I say give you guys the two versions of how I understand my now moment of the third density, which is the third density that is the natural state of experiencing the third density, and then the dissonant state of experiencing the third density. Okay, um, you have the dissonance is really what creates the fixed state of the experience. Okay, the dissonance is what also causes the misalignment. Okay, um, and a lot of the misalignment comes in the essence of one moving out of their natural state and moving out of their authentic state. Okay, and so the reverse polarity of that part of it is simply start moving into the authentic you. The authentic you now is one of the major steps that is going to now begin to reverse the polarity. And it was the thing that I was talking about yesterday in terms of what my daughter was saying, in the most simplest and the most innocent of way, is she explained the fifth dimensional you is that we come into the incarnation brand new baby, bringing it into, just the most simplest of way. We come in our fifth dimensional self as a brand new baby, right? And we begin to become indoctrinated by environmental factors, by lineage, right, and by societal uh, programming. Okay, and depending on your environment, your lineage, um, and how you come into the incarnation in the experience is going to determine the factor of how the programming, how deep your indoctrination, or how deep into the third density your experience or your programming, uh how inverted your programming becomes energetically, depending on your family lineage, depending on how you incarnated into the experience. Okay, so you come in your natural state, you come in your fifth dimensional self, and depending on your lineage, depending on how you incarnated, depending on how you came into the reality, right, into the third density, is going to determine how you either stay up, you stay upright in your natural state and experience the mirrored version of self, and you don't really have that much of the inverted experiences and different things of that nature. Like, to give you an example of a being that had the ability to maintain a sense of their natural state. um Hi, Tyler. Gratitude. Thank you. I'm looking at the. Hi, Tyler. Gratitude. Gratitude for your presence. Thank you for divinely tuning into my frequency. I'm so divinely grateful. And welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you. Thank you for the love. Yeah, I'm up here on the whiteboard. I finally made it to the whiteboard. Oh wow, gratitude. And for YouTube, Tyler, which is on Instagram, he said, "Peace, God. Wow, look at you. I love that you're now teaching the growth is is beautiful. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so kind of forgot my thought. But yes, so depending on how you come into the incarnation, is going to determine oh yes, the example that I was going to use is uh she played Claire Huxtable. Oh gosh, she played Claire Huxtable. Now I can't think. Debbie Allen and Felicia and Allen Rashad, Felicia Rashad. So I'm grateful. Thank you, Tyler. Debbie Allen and Felicia Rashad, right? If you listen to their stories and their mother, even though they were born at a time where uh, they could have experienced coming into the incarnation in an inverted perceptionary state of being. They had a pretty much a fifth dimensional level of consciousness mother that afforded them the ability to maintain their upright position, their natural state of being. So they were able to experience their fifth dimensional self. Noted that even during a time that was oppression and different things of that nature, they were still able to circumvent the frequency, even though the oppression was very prevalent, and they still experienced some oppressed state experiences. It did not predetermine or determine their state of being, because of how they came into the incarnation and how they were introduced energetically by the environment that they were they were subjugated to by the rearing of their mother. Okay, so depending on the lineage, so if the lineage has been crystallized and freed energetically, they were able to come into a lineage that was already uh the density had already been cleared. So when they came into the incarnation of the fifth dimensional into the third density, they were in the world, but they were not of the world, and they were able to experience the incarnation in the manner to which they experience it. And if you listen to their dialogue, you could clearly see that, even though they were in that environment, they came in on that timeline and they saw what they saw, but they were able to recode the experience by their frequency of just being themselves. So they came into the frequency, they came into the dimension quietly, but subtly, energetically, to recode the dynamic of the experience in their own way. Because you could just hear their conversation, and they're very much in the essence of knowing who they are just by their conversations, when and by the way that they say that their mother spoke, if at all, anything that they've said for public, record, that they've placed out there for public consumption, if what they've said for what they placed out there for public consumption is true. Okay, so it depends on how you come into the incarnation, how that is going to material, how you're going to experience. But nevertheless, um, many of us have come into the experience in many different ways. And so 868 says, hi 868 Laylo, says pattern and style is how we utilize our our vibration. If you can elaborate on that for me so that I can get a clear understanding what you mean by pattern and style. If I understand you correctly, is it based off of what you is it based off of what you see? Is it like, you are you saying, is it because of the visual conception of what you see and how it's presented, like like the repetition and what's presented? Is that what you mean? If I'm understanding what you're saying, because I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. If that's what you're saying, right? So if you so how you come into the incarnation, how you come into the experience is going to determine how you either, if you are fixed in the experience, in the 3D fixed situation from the reverse polarity, or if you are in your natural state and you're just mirroring from the essence of the authentic self. Okay. And many of us are moving from the how can I say, the reverse polarity. Okay. Where there's the illusion of separation and all this other kind of stuff, and we don't see the law of one, and we don't see ourselves in the unity consciousness, and we don't see ourselves as that, because the illusion has brought so much of the reality to be very cohesive and very true. We don't see ourselves as a unit, one unit, where we're sharing information, we're sharing the same information. There's so much that has come into the midst to say, even that, um the what we create is proprietorship. You believe that your thoughts are your thoughts, and not all of your thoughts are your thoughts, and I'm going to talk about that, because vibrational thoughts can be very, you have to be careful about even vibrational thoughts, because as I say, everything is energy. So when you're neutralizing, right? You have to first have an understanding that everything is energy, everything, even your thoughts. And not all of your thoughts are yours. What I see is how I reverse it from the inside out. Okay, what I see is how I reverse it from the inside out. Right. So I get what you're saying, right? And that's the key, because that's the key essential thing, is that we're not going to look at everybody else. Okay. So the collective, it may sound like you're going to look at everybody else. And that's the misconception when you talk about the collective, is everybody looking at that person and that person and that person and that person. No. The way you tackle the collective is when you begin to see yourself, is when you, the being that makes up, you're the sum of the whole. So it's when the sum of the whole decides to take ownership and accountability for self. So when you decide to take ownership and accountability for self, that is the aspect now that begins to make up the collective. That is what makes the whole. So when you now decide to say, okay, I'm no longer going to just continue to agree with the survival reality. And then when the survival reality is over, then it's done. Because if you can, don't get me wrong, you can, but then that's what keeps the reality fixed. Okay? That's what keeps it a fixed 3D reality in the dissonance and the misalignment energetically. That's what keeps it, you know, a 3D fixed reality. Okay? When you decide to now say, okay, we're ready to evolve the reality out of the 3D fixed into the reality where it's now the experience is ready to evolve. This is now where you are going to focus yourself. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to be a part of the aspect now that is going to focus on the self, me, okay, place myself in the essence of neutrality, okay, what it is that I do no longer agree with, right? I'm just going to stay neutral to that to which who I am. And for that I no longer agree with, I have no opinion about it one way or the other. Now, what that does is that it keeps you out of the tug and the war of becoming in a debate as to why you don't agree with something or why you do agree with something. Because what happens is that if you invest in energy in agreement, that still makes you a participant in a reality that you do not wish to be a part of. Okay? Even in an agreement, even in a disagreement. But if you step back in an essence of neutrality, right? Your energy speaks for itself. So what happens is, like, and I'm gonna bring back this the thing with the hurricane. So when I sat down and said, if this is true of nature, and nature who I am, which is the purity of love, right? Which is divine love, that to which I am in truth. Nature is natural. If this is natural, okay, and that which is not of dissonance or discord, then it will automatically align to that which I am in truth. I don't have to say I agree or disagree because it will automatically align to that to which I am in truth. So I just remain neutral. So if it's not that to which I am in truth, I don't have to say I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm not giving. So if it's not, then it's still not getting my energy. If it is nature, then it just naturally aligns. And this is how you maintain the integrity to that to which who you are in truth. And it begins to stabilize the reality into the essence of neutrality. It begins to move the reality into the space to that it takes it out of dissonance and it takes it out of discord. Because what it is that whatever it is that is natural, that is of nature, that is not of dissonance, and distortion. It will no longer have anything to cling on when you move in the essence of neutrality. So if it's not coming in the frequency that you are in agreement with to experience in the higher octave to that which is chosen, if that is what you have chosen. So let's say in the essence of the you know the let's take one of these equitable. Let's take the wealth, right? And one of the stabilizers, right? Because you need in order to stabilize something, you need 3 points to stabilize something, right? Okay, you need 3 points to stabilize something. And so let's say you want to take something that's equitable, right? Integrity, environmental factors, right? Earth. So you got nature, you got nature, you got nature here, you got integrity, right? You got pure tone, you got integrity and nature, and then you got currency flow, right? Right? To stabilize. Okay. And you got word, song, and power. Okay. That's good. Hi, T Love. Hey, beautiful. Gratitude for your presence. Thank you for divinely tuning into my frequency. I'm so divinely grateful and welcome, welcome, welcome. And once again, you guys, this is going to be a two-part because I'm going to come back and I'm gonna come back and revisit. This is going to be the quiet session because y'all know my grandkids gonna be here, so y'all already know when the grandkids come. The two youngest ones are the loudest ones, so y'all gonna. Although you guys, when I run the video back, even though it be loud as world, it be so loud, but when I run the tape back, I don't be hearing it. It's really weird, and I be getting on their tail. And when I run the tape back, but I'm like, it be so loud, it be so loud. But when I run the tape back, you don't really hear it. Um, but these are the you have to have stabilizers, and in most of the stabilizers comes into you have to have like 3 points in order to stabilize a field. Okay, a field of energy. Okay, so these are your like this is a field right here like this would be like a quantum field, and you have the three stabilizers. So if you have the environment, you have the integrity, okay, and then you have so you have nature, you have truth, like pure tone, authenticity, okay, your authenticity, right? You're moving in truth, okay. So if you those tones, when you have the purity of nature and you have the purity of you're moving in the authenticity, you're moving in truth, right? And then you have a currency. You have your that currency of you in abundance, the abundant you. These three currencies, right? These three energy currents are very strong. So let's say you chose these three currencies. You got nature on your side, right? Environmental balance. So what is environmental balance? What does environmental balances look like? Right? Okay. First off, you're not going to pollute the environment with your thoughts. Okay? Energetic integrity. Okay? You're not going to yes, T Love. Hey, beautiful. T Love say so. T Love on YouTube, T Love on Instagram say so. Okay, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Um, Yes, everything is energy, but it's how we perceptualize it. It gives it a different way we use it, or the way different way we conduct it. Your thoughts are thoughts are energy, but the way we perceptualize it is how we're using it in a different way, right? So everything is energy. The tree is energy. Your thoughts is energy. The way you perceptualize energy, it gives it a different frequency container of how it's used. So yeah, yeah, energy current, yeah, yeah, is how it's used, right? Energy is the same thing. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Yeah. So how you perceive that energy is going to give it a different connotation of how that energy is going to be used. It is going to be expressed. Okay. So you're going to express that energy differently. Your thoughts are energy. Your money is energy. It's a way that you, and I'm probably explaining it wrong, and I'll figure out a way how to explain it better down the line. But it's a way, it's just how you expressing it, the perception that we give it. Um Frequency, and it's a way to explain that too. And I never explain it right, but I'm gonna get the right way to explain it. Frequency is the creative force that allows for the experience to be created. So without the frequency, um, it allows for the vibration to take, for things to take shape and form. So it's the energy, the frequency is what allows for the creational value to take form. So, like for instance, without the frequency, you could not experience the vibration of the experience. So the frequency, like for instance, the form before the species can ever come into form, it's a frequency. So you are a frequency before you come into vibrational state. No, it's a higher, it's like a higher, everything has an octave, right? So frequencies are like plasma. It's like plasmic energy. It just has a higher state of being, right? So as it comes more into the density, then you begins to feel the vibration. So now you're feeling the vibration. As it comes more into density, you begin to feel the vibration. So it's just different phases of matter. So the vibration is the lower form of the matter, but the frequency is like the plasma, or like the lightning, or the higher up echelon. So it's just like the different phases of how the energy is expressed. But I never, it's a proper way. It's a proper way to explain it. But y'all know I've been explaining it the ghetto way and stuff, but it's a proper way to explain it. It's a proper way to explain it. But it's different ways on how the energy expresses itself. So before you come into form, you are pretty much noted as like a frequency, like the Anunnakian, Pleiadians, all of these beings, they are a frequency first before they actually come into form. The experience itself is a frequency before it actually comes into form, before it actually comes into shape and form. So it's just a state of in it. Okay, okay, thank you. And I know I'm saying it the ghetto way, but there's a proper way that it is actually explained, and it'll probably tell you a more quantum way of explanation than my little ratchet way of how I'm explaining it. Okay, it's a proper way. It's a proper way of explanation. way proper way of explanation. Okay, let me see if anybody's saying. I can't even see. I know it's a better. How do you get this thing out of the Let's see if I can move it out of the way. Okay, there we go. The getaway fine by you, sis. Okay. Thank you, love. I'm grateful. Thank you. Right? So if you focus on some of these things in terms of, how to reverse the polarity. Now, these are some of the things that I'm doing in terms of reversing the polarity in the collective mind. Okay. The collective mind is not necessarily focusing on the collective. That's number one. The collective mind is focusing on myself as an individual. And if each individual that is a part of the collective begin to focus on themselves, it kind of inadvertently start to become that of the collective. Okay, it starts to mold itself into the whole, because then now everybody is starting to focus on themselves. Okay, now as I said, utilizing that as an example of neutrality, right? Placing things, even your thoughts, so thoughts that comes into your mind when they say, let me get this, I want to write this down so you guys can have it. And I probably should have wrote it down, um but I'm going to write it down now so that you guys can have it. So that when you want to shift into a timeline that, and I've said this before, let me see. Do I have space? I don't have no space, but I'm gonna put it on here somewhere. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me know if you guys can see this. Let's see if I can. All right. Okay. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. Okay. All right. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. I know y'all can't see that bottom part. Okay. All right. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. All right. Now, what that does, okay, it helps you get back into the essence of neutrality. And it began, you can see, okay, I'm glad you can see it, cause what that does, it helps you get back into the essence of the space that you are choosing to be in. Okay. And the timeline that you are no longer choosing to be in it will begin to dissolve that data. It will begin to dissolve that reality. Okay. And it's neutral. And this is why I'm giving you guys the neutral. So that way, whatever thought that comes into your head. So if it's a thought that, oh, I'm sick, or I'm poor, or I don't feel well, oh, I'm not, I don't have any, any of these things, any of these dissonant thoughts or misaligned thoughts that takes you away from your natural self. Because anything, these thoughts, believe it or not, although they may appear true, they are illusionary in nature. And you only created them because of the misaligned version that you are in agreement to experience by how you understand the reality. And because you understand the reality by how the reality is being created, and because there's a constant reaffirming of the reality in that way, that's reaffirming the reality to be a true reality, you're not realizing that you are constantly creating the reality to be true. That's why it is a true reality. So to neutralize it until it become a reality that you want to see, you're going to now have to neutralize that to which you no longer want to experience, even though it is showing up that it is a true reality, until it no longer show itself to be a true reality. This is how you begin to neutralize the reality while shifting the reality. Because you're, and then you're also beginning to shift and change the data. Well, not only change the data, but you're also beginning to um, stabilize your nervous system as well. Okay. So a lot of things is happening as a result of you going into neutrality. We're neutralizing. Now, the thing of it is, you're not stopping anything or anybody. Okay? Because whatever wants to go and whatever wants to do, they can still do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it. What you are doing as the creator that you are shifting the energy. You are now taking you're taking the creative control that you have now, because you're becoming aware of self, and you are shifting the energy. Hi, golden sugar. Hey, beautiful. Gratitude for your presence. Thank you for divinely tuning into my frequency. And I'm so divinely grateful. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm looking at my iPad at the comments, but I should be looking here. Thank you, baby. Thank you for being here. So now you're not stopping anybody. So anything that wants to remain in its essence of dissonance, all you are now doing is choosing the neutrality of self, if that is what you are choosing to do. Okay? So the only thing now is that the essence of awareness has come before you in terms of how to do that. And if you have come into alignment with the fact of how to do that, then that means that there's a part of you that wants to know how to bring that back, bring that essence unto yourself to shift into the reality. Okay? That will afford you the ability to shift that reality. Okay? Cause say ding, ding, ding. Right? Okay? Because nobody's stopping nothing. You're just now making a conscious choice, if that is what you choose, because you have a right to choose. Nobody's never the the uh the sovereign beings that are aware never said that you didn't have a right to choose. They were just banking on however long it takes for you to wake up, that's your business, right? However long it takes for you to wake up, knowing that it could take eons for it to commence. But once you choose to wake up, it's your choice. Okay. Yes, I'm working on that, Rosa says. Yes. Okay. Now, the thing of it is that there is a plethora of chaos and confusion that is out there, and there's a plethora of esoteric information that extends beyond comprehension. Okay, it's a lot out there, you guys. It's a lot out there. It's a lot out there. It's a lot out there. There's stories beyond stories. There's stories beyond stories. And sometimes you'll listen to a narrative and it may have some resonant points, but then at the same token, you got to ask yourself, okay, well, how am I feeling this day today? Who done pissed me off? Is my stomach hurting? Am I stressed? You got to start asking, where are you at energetically that aligned you to this vibrational state? Because that may have attracted to you to that story. And that may be the reason why that story is resonating with you. Because you may not be feeling good today. Your stomach may be hurting. You may be pissed off. And a part of the reasons why your stomach is hurting is because you're not in your natural self. You're operating in dissonance. You're operating in misalignment because these are the things that happen in third dimensional distorted energy. So when you begin to understand the energy then you begin to go down the line as to how these stories begin to align with you and attract to you. You start understanding the energy being that you are and how you became to attract this story that now resonates with me and why it resonates with me in this now moment. It resonated with me in this now moment because, oh yeah, I am tired. Oh yeah, I don't feel good. Oh yeah, I was mad today. Oh yeah, I did get a $400 water bill, light bill, something. Yeah, oh yeah, something did trigger me. Oh yeah, this is energy. I don't care what the story is. It's the energy that carries the story. So when you begin to understand yourself as an energy being, then you'll begin to understand why these stories resonate. Agreements, yes, yes. These now you are in agreement with these narratives of these energy stories that you are now saying yes to without realizing why you're saying yes to it. And the only reason why you're saying yes to it in these agreements is because your stomach was hurting or because you got in an argument with somebody. Because you remember, you're still closely in the essence of thinking that you're physical and not energy. So these things may resonate with you because you might still have some energy resonances to victim consciousness because of certain things that, may have happened in your course of your experiences. Like I said, I'm going to do a part 2 because this thing I'm dealing with the collective now. And this thing is deep. Deep down inside, but look, okay? Because I'm dealing with all facets of the dissonant you or the misaligned you. And all things that place you in misalignment for us to understand the energy you. the energetic you. Okay? And what the dissonance or the misaligned you feels like energetically. The misaligned you don't feel well. The misaligned you gets mad and gets upset and become vibrationally attuned energetically to that pissed you off and made you mad and upset. So now you got to peel back the layers of what pissed you off. Was it a light bill? What is a water bill? Was it somebody did something to you that, now you got to, in the 9 times out of 10, it might be something, once again, that's in an energy of distortion or misalignment. Because of the survival energy, the survival frequency. So now when you sit down in that energy, if you ain't did anything to ground or go outside, hug a tree, stand in the ground, do breath work, if you haven't did anything to ground that energy or level that energy, because we wasn't taught how to stabilize that energy after experiencing those things, and you just sat down and you go through your phone and you looking at a reel or you looking at a video, because we were never really taught how to let go of that energy and stabilize that energy and bring ourselves back to ourselves. Now you're watching something in that same energy, and now you're resonating with something in that same energy, and now you watching some cloaked spiritual stuff that's cloaked in that energy, and you're in agreement with some spiritual stuff in that energy, that dirty water spiritual stuff, that dirty water spiritual stuff in that energy. So I'm going to come back today and we're going to talk about more about the essence of neutrality. And when those thoughts that are not your thoughts or experiences that you no longer are in agreement with come into your space, like a thought that is not my thought that comes into mind, and things that I've seen that I'm not in agreement with, like things that plays over in my mind that I'm not in agreement with. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. This is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation. I don't care what it is. If you look at your account and it's not what it is that you want to see, this is data from an expired timeline. I do not consent to its recreation, because if you do not begin to reprogram that to which you is, the reversal of the polarity, you now have to begin to move into the essence of your authenticity. I will show you guys a board that I this same board one day, I just started writing. I just started writing everywhere. And then I said I got to harmonize it now. I just started writing everything out of me, what it is that I wanted to do, who I am, truth, everything. I just started writing everything out. I just started getting out my pure self, truth, everything, the truth of me, what it is that I wanted to do. I don't care how crazy it sounded or what it was, how it sounded or whatever the case may be. I just put it all out here on the board. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you what it looked like. Oh, wow. They interrupted my live. That's crazy. They interrupted my live, you guys. Y'all seen that? Now, my phone is on airplane mode. It's on airplane mode, you guys. It's no way a call should have came through on airplane mode. Airplane mode. Cause go God, cause can you go on YouTube to see whether or not if you're able to see me? Cause I don't know. I don't know if okay, Veronica. Hi, Veronica Grant. Thank you, beautiful. I went to go. Okay, I went to go get what you want. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful. Yes, I would. I'm glad. Thank you for letting me know. It was. It's on both of my phones are on airplane mode. Ooh. You know I gotta do high frequency tones when I do. That's what when y'all hear me do that's what that means. When y'all hear me do So you guys can see me. You guys can see me on YouTube. Okay. Mm. So now, let me see. Now I can't find it. Now I can't find it, but I know ooh, I know I had it. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay. I took a picture of it. I don't know if you guys can see it. You're on both. Oh, okay. Okay, Rosa. Thank you. Okay. All right. There we go. I know you guys can't really see it, but I wrote everything. I was just a wild, let me see for you. Wild and not fool. Right? Okay. Okay. And I wrote everything on that on the thing. Right? And just random stuff. Random things. Just put it out there. Okay? Anything that I could think of that was within my truth of the material plane. Okay? 15th dimensional. Yes. Right? That's who I am, right? Anything that I could think of that I just put it out there. That was the first thing that I wrote, my 15th dimensional self, right? Put it out there. Okay? Just put it out there and whatever. And then I once I got it all out, I couldn't think of nothing else at that time. Because I've since wrote other stuff, but that was the first. That was the first. And then I said, okay, it's time to harmonize it. Because the misaligned you, the reason why you're scattered and everything is because you're not harmonized. The first thing you saw was 15th dimensional you. Yes. Yes. All right. Yes. Yes. Your eye, your first eye. Yes. Yes. Right? Okay. So when you write everything and all this other kind of stuff and you just put everything out there, you just put it out there, then the next thing you want to do is harmonize it. Because the misaligned you is the aspect of the divine self now that is experiencing itself that's not harmonized. The harmonics of you, it's unstabilized. Okay? What time is it? 1:26. Yeah, I gotta go get my grandbaby. But I promise you guys, if you come back, because I'm not done. I Y'all, hey, listen. On both phones. Now, both phones, you guys, two different numbers. Two different telephone numbers. Two different telephone numbers now. They don't even have the same number. And they're both on airplane mode. Okay? It's not over. Okay? And both lives on YouTube as well as, let me make sure it's not interrupted. Okay, I gotta look at that thing. Let me see. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy, crazy. Um, got interrupted. But it's not, like I said, I'm not making nobody do anything. Okay? It is your divine choice. It's your divine choice how you understand your now moment. It's your divine choice. Okay? All right? But I will tell you this, right? You have to stay true. Okay. When you do, and I'm speaking from experience, if you're sharing fields, meaning that when you're sharing fields with those that has not chosen to shift their reality, okay, it can impose. It depends on you, and I don't want to place that on anyone, so I'm just going to say me. For me, um it was challenging. It is challenging for me sharing fields with people who still choose uh 3D consciousness inverted. Okay, it is challenging for me, because I operate as a hybrid. So I have, you know to bring that essence of balance. I came into the incarnation as a hybrid, so to bring the essence of the balance into the experience, right? However, it is challenging for me at times because I'm in that essence where I'm tired of the denser side of the expression. But you know to keep me in balance, right? That's why I still gravitate to that density, because I that's the purpose that I'm here, because I came in as a hybrid. But you have to begin to understand how to. So if for those of us who are here on neutrality, that's why we're here, um in terms of bringing in the balance of the experience, I'm not saying that it'll be that for y'all, but we hold that base. We hold both polarities. We hold both polarities, but we're able to neutralize it. We're able to bring it down the middle. Okay. We're able to bring it down the middle. So, it ain't, speaking on experience, for me, it ain't go all the way disappear. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't go all the way disappear. That's all I'm saying. But you're able to balance the field. Like, you, to be honest, you're if you can hold, that's why I can hold tone and still operate in density, because I can balance both the light and the dark, to which this reality called dark. It's not really dark, it's density, but they call it dark because everybody knows it as dark matter energy. But we're not gonna go there. Right? Okay. Thank you, Rosa. Thank you, beautiful. So, but it's only to stabilize. We are to stabilize. But I ain't gonna tell you no lie, I'm sick of this shit. That's just what y'all know, yeah, it's manageable. It's manageable. Cause says it's difficult, but it's manageable. It's manageable, but it's density. Holding density and when you're ready to evolve out of density. When there's a version of you that's ready to evolve out of density, yeah, it's you're tired. You're tired. You're tired. You're tired. So beings like this, that's hood. That's what I say. I don't know what they sent me down here for, because I'm going straight into damn collective shit. People don't want to go into collective, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm going. Damn it. Nobody don't want to ride the collective. And nobody trying to stay away from the collective, but I'm like, shit, I'm nose diving in that motherfucker. Because if none of y'all want to go in the damn collective, then shit. I'm a hybrid, god damn it. I got both sides of the equation, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go on ahead. I'm just gonna go on ahead and go on ahead, okay? Now y'all seen that they done went through my live on 2 different telephone numbers and did the do. Okay? Did the damn do. But they already know. My soul is what it is. Okay? Beings don't do this unless they just know they can do this. And I know that I can do this, and this is why I'm doing it. It's not everything that I allowed my template to be in privilege of in terms of esoteric knowledge, right? Because I didn't choose words, I chose tone. So this is why this is a little bit more lethal than just words, because I chose tone. I didn't choose words, I chose tone. And there's a big difference when your words hold frequency bands, when it holds tone. Kaz says, yes, my words exactly why I love it here. I'm grateful, Kazi. Thank you, Kazi. Yes, I'm grateful. So when you hold tone in your words, that holds a different weight than somebody just coming on here with words that matches a frequency band that serves the purpose of the fixed consciousness. When your words don't really serve the purpose of a fixed consciousness, when your tone is different than that to which the consciousness, then it's different. Shalom. You're just another part of me. Shalom. Y'all see, I got on my Michael Jackson wig. Hey, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. Oh, God, too, kid. Hey, what's up, Jay? Hey, beautiful. New Earth 7 is in the building. The two kid is in the building. Now y'all want to come when I'm about to go. But I'll be back. As soon as I get back, I gotta pick up a grandbaby. But as soon as I get back, I'll probably be back on around about, I'm going to give a time, Eastern Standard Time, around about 6 EST. Because my grandbaby has a 4, I think it's either 4:30 or 4 o'clock. I think it's 4:30. I think she got a 4:30 appointment. They got a 4:30 appointment. Ugh. So, um, Veronica, oh, you know what? I didn't see your comment, baby. Let me see. Are these things that worry you? Oh, Veronica was speaking. Oh, I got to get what she said. Ms. Veronica Grant says, "Are these things that worry you?" No, they don't worry. This is Veronica on YouTube, IG. I have to give her some love. I got to give her some love now. Veronica says, "Are these things that worry you?" No, they don't worry me. These are things that are moving from the authentic me, so they don't worry me. These are the things that you kind of place on the back burner because you're kind of focused on what we take make precedent. But when you look at what you make precedent, another thing that you do is that what look at what you make precedent and then ask yourself, what are you making priority? Is it aligned to you or is it misaligned? If you say that it's a line, are you making it a line because it's priority because you have to survive? And if you are making it a line to you because it's priority because you have to survive, then survival is misalignment. So then it still goes back to misalignment. So you have to really go like break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. You got to break it all the way down because it's still, if you're still doing it because it's in survival, you feel that you have to survive, then it still falls in the energetic category of misalignment. Okay. All right. So we're going to do, that's why I said we're going to come back and we're going to do some real work to bring ourselves back out of the reversal of the polarity to our authentic self in alignment through truth and transparency so that we can have some compassion around here. Energetic hygiene, okay? Some energetic hygiene, right? And then the stabilizers of the field, okay, is I took 3 things, which was the environment, nature, because we are nature. Nature, we are nature, the natural pure tone. Nature, nature, the natural. Gonna get back to it. Nature, all right? The integrity, right? These are some of the things that I kind of, rest in reflection. Okay, rest in reflection. Um, I'm really big on this compassion thing. I oh. I said that twice. Compassion and empathy, and shared purpose and vision. Now, the reason why I did shared purpose and vision is because that is actually the fifth dimensional you. Okay. Collaboration, right? Co-creation and collaboration. So when you get into the fifth dimensional cells, when you see a lot of the service of self beings, that's what they are in. They are in collaboration. They are in co-creation. That's why you see a lot of business deals and partnerships and different things of that nature, because they are in collaboration and co-creation. But the difference is in terms of how I understand the service of self and the service to others. With a lot of them, not all, there are beings, there are beings that are millionaires and billionaires that are service to others. So I don't want people to classify beings that are wealthy. I can't think of the name of that guy. He created a lot of stuff, and he was a billionaire, but he gave everything away. He gave it all away. He didn't have a dime of it when he transitioned. But it's not but he wasn't poor, and he had a good life. Um but when he transitioned, he didn't have any assets, and he didn't have any liquid assets because he gave everything away throughout the course. So what his service to others was is that he kept the flow. He didn't solidify his assets. He kept a lot of it liquidated, and he kept it in flow, and he kept it in service to others. So even though he became a billionaire and he became wealthy, he didn't solidify his assets by buying um mansions and properties and different things of that nature. I cannot think of this man's name. Oh my gosh. And I see his face so clearly and I can't think of his name. He didn't solidify. He um he kept that the light flowing in service to others, even though he was wealthy, even though he was a billionaire. The service to self now solidifies assets, and then when they need the money, they liquidate. They sell off the prop. They borrow off of their properties and different things. They liquidate, but they solidify a lot of their acquisitions and different things of that nature, and move in a different type of way. Um, and it's not to say that it's wrong. I don't want anybody to say that it's right or wrong. It's just how the consciousness chooses to express energetically. Okay, right? It's how the consciousness chooses to express energetically, and how the service to self consciousness understands itself, right? Is that when, if you're choosing to operate from a 3D fixed consciousness, it's up to you to wake up bit by bit and reverse the polarity to bring yourself out of the fixed state of being and evolve yourself, the self, into a higher state of consciousness. It's just a perception of how the service to self sees the state of how consciousness should evolve. It sees that consciousness should evolve from an individual state, not as a collective. That's just how service to self sees it. Service to self sees it that it should evolve at a individual state, not as a collective. That the human experience should not evolve as a collective, that it should evolve like how I woke up and want to evolve to the higher level of consciousness and bring myself up to the consciousness. And if I want to facilitate the third dimensional fix to create wealth and allow me to live a lavish life, I should be able to facilitate that aspect of the third density fix to facilitate and use third density as a source of energy to give me a luxury life. Because the third density is an energy source that consumes. I'm just saying, giving y'all a little too much over here, but it is what it is. That's just how that aspect of the consciousness understands. So it does not feel like the essence of the consciousness should ascend as a collective. Now you see why they interrupt my live on airplane mode. All right, y'all, let me go. I will come back. Hopefully, I will come. I will come back. Ooh, and we shall. We shall get into it. All right, it's gonna be a part deuce. It's gonna be a part deuce, and we shall get into it. And yeah. My thing of it is that I got to go get my grandbaby. My thing of it is that it should not be at the inverted aspect of it. But we're going to get back into it. So, y'all, let me go ahead and get my grandbaby. And we're going to do a deuce. And it should be at between 5-ish and 6 o'clock-ish Eastern Standard Time. All right. And you guys that are on YouTube, if you guys want to come back, I shall return. And I'm grateful for you guys holding the tone with me. And thank you, Veronica Grant. I know I didn't get to all of your questions, but I'm grateful. And if you could screenshot your questions and resubmit them if you do decide to return, I'll get to your questions and I'll have more time. All right. Love you guys. Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment and share the video if you feel that you have gotten something out of this video. And what is that? What is it that you could take away from this video? Please leave it in the comments. And the same goes for you guys, Instagram, my day ones, my core. Y'all know how we do. Go ahead and leave a comment. Send the video if you feel that this video is of benefit. And let me know what you learned from this video today and what we gonna do about all this here. And like I say, this data from an expired timeline, I do not consent to its recreation. Okay? Okay. All right. All right. I'll see y'all in a bit. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Later.